Hello from Custom Home Builder Solutions, also known as CHS, a job costing, full accounting, and profit management software for the professional home builder. In this video, and I'll probably do a series of little videos, I'm going to talk about how to delete a payables transaction that you posted to a vendor that has been paid. And it will be a payables transaction that doesn't have any other things that prevent it from being deleted. Since this is a full job costing program and an accounting program, CHS is taking care of making sure that you don't delete records that have been included in a batch of closing entries for your books or job closing entry. It will give you messages about that when it finds it with some tips about how to handle that. And I'll probably do a few videos about how to handle those or do some reversing entries. But first of all, I'd like to show you one thing is that you cannot delete a vendor bill that has been paid without first voiding the check. And then it will return the invoices to an unpaid status, and then you can go delete the invoices and then leave whatever. If there was more than one invoice paid on the check, they'll all be returned to unpaid. You could delete the one you want and then reprint a check. Hopefully you're not voiding a check that's cleared the bank or that somebody actually cashed in order to do this. But we're going to go ahead and do that, and we've opened the vendor transactions, vendor ledgers, and that's where you do it. Actually, to delete most invoices, they can't be paid, so you would use the unpaid payables because you'll get them into an unpaid status like we're going to do here. You'd use the unpaid payables to delete something. But we know that we want to delete something for the vendor big bucks. So we're going to do a quick search. And you really would do better with all of this just doing a quick search so you're not dealing with this whole screen refreshing after you do things. So I just said I want a wide range of dates, and I just want big buck. I could narrow it down to some more information like the job if I wanted to, but I think since there's not that many records for the big buck vendor, I'm going to show you this. Notice that paid. This one here, if I click on it, that's to pay, is going to tell me that it's an unpaid bill and I need to delete it on the unpaid window like I said. Now this one here is paid, and you can see that there's two records paid with check number 3041, but for some reason I'm wanting to delete this entry for whatever the reason is out in the world. I try to delete it, I'll get a message that says it's been paid. In order to delete it, the check must be voided first. A window will open that can be used to void the check if needed, and after voiding, any entries, including this one that were paid with the check, will be marked as unpaid and can be edited or deleted using the unpaid payables windows. So if I click OK, what I'm going to get is the screen where if you actually go to lists of checks and search for things, you get a list of things you searched for. So I told the program, open that window, search for this check number, for this vendor, etc. So you'll notice that there's a void this, which I did show in how to void checks. But we're talking about how to get the original entry deleted right now. So let's say void this. It'll pop up and say before clicking, make sure no one else is doing anything, because we're about to void a check, cause things to be unpaid. And really, if somebody's working in the unpaid payables, it could make it kind of weird that you're doing something that's causing something to be thrown in there. That's why I have those kinds of warnings. If they're selecting bills to pay, things like that, or selecting them all to pay, and this suddenly gets selected to pay after it's unpaid because they do it right then. Things like that. This says alert, vendor bills paid with check will be marked as unpaid. We did look at those two. We could see those two, but we could check to see which entries. Both of these entries, both one for lot clearing and an amount we deducted for workers' comp insurance, will be set back to unpaid, and that's what that button is for, is to review those. So let's click to void this check. It says that the void check has been posted. This window will close. You can now see 3041 is void, check amount is 0, etc. And I'll close this window, and it just refreshed, and you can see that these are in an unpaid status. And if I tried to delete them again from here, just like I said before, I'll be told I need to go to the unpaid payables window. So I'll go home, I'll go to the unpaid payables, and then I'll select Big Bug for a quick search of those. So it'll open just the big buck ones. And here's the two that I was attempting to delete earlier, but they've been marked as paid on a check. It could be that the check got lost and we're never going to pay them, or whatever reason it is. This is just a demo job that it doesn't matter, but you could do some drilling down to see if there's anything important in notes, about that record, just in case you wanted to. I think we just were demonstrating creating a bill from a PO, but now I can do the X and continue to delete the record. And then I can delete this other one too, that was the workers' comp that was deducted. And so those entries are now deleted, but that's how you would do it if it had been paid. Notice that if I click the audit button up here on the payables window, you can see unpaid payable entry deleted, unpaid payable entry deleted. But let's go, you can see that let me show you that, because it'll show the latest audit entries first in our audit database, but you can see where it said user voided check shown for big buck, the amount of the check, then it showed unpaid payable entry deleted. And I've shown before how you can do some big time searches, like say I'm looking at check 3041 and I want to figure out if there's some audit or something happened to it. So I clicked that show hide search row, and I'm going over to the check number column and I'm doing 3041, and then I'm doing an exact match. So it will show me any records that are referencing that check number, any audit records, and what gets put in here is the state of these before. You can hide that search row by clicking it again, and you can see what user, Carol King, and what time they voided it. So if you ever need to figure out why you have some check printed and then it's not in CHS anymore, you could go research the audit list. Plus you saw how in the list of checks it showed 30. It still kept a record of it, 3041 is void. So that's all I wanted to say about trying to delete a payables record that is paid. There may be some other reasons why you can't delete some payables records, because they've been included on a draw request, and it messes things up if you just delete things. The home buyers don't like that. Or, like I said, it was posted before a closing journal entry, etc. So thank you for watching, and we'll take a look at a few more things that might happen while you're trying to delete a record in some other videos.